Hey everybody, this is Grace, and in this video I'm going to talk about the seasonal affective disorder and any links to chronic pain. Now, I'm not sure if you would call it chronic pain or just pain, but I did look up. I Googled it, and I saw something that said some are suggesting that there may be a link between those two, and so I never really trust whatever I just Google. Okay, I go and I get online and find some scholarly research, scholarly journal articles, and read those. And I did that. I didn't find anything that was associated with pain, so I printed out what I did want to read, and so I'm going to do that. But I want to find out the links now. It isn't something that I really studied deeply. Okay. Now I've known about, SAD is what they call it, but they also say that for social anxiety disorder. So, yeah. But, the acronym. And so anyway, I researched it, and see, I had the problem concentrating. That was one of the things that I read about, and more. In my research, I didn't, the articles, I didn't go back far enough, I think, is what it was. Now, everything that just because, something is new doesn't make it better, like research. In fact, I wouldn't want to go back far enough. I didn't. I just wanted to see what was current, but go back far enough to where, if there is a, continuum, one builds on the other kind of thing. But I just went back to 2014 or 2015. Depending. So, but I want to see that because I do have some of the symptoms I've read of, SAD. Both of them actually. But, it can be anything. It can be, a cross between this and this. And yes, I did talk to my doctor. Okay, doctors, plural. Last year I had a reason. I was walking on the sidewalk, like see here, that sidewalk, and I've mentioned this before, and I fell, busted both of my knees because one of them was lifted up on the corner, like on the edge, and yeah. Anyway, and I busted both of my knees, and I told my doctor that immediately when that happened, the bottoms of my feet started hurting. Okay, now I busted my knees, I didn't land on my feet, but so I think that he said that it could be diabetic nerve pain or something. I can't remember. That was I busted my knees July of last year, July 19th. And anyway, I just thought it was scrapes, but it wasn't. So I didn't go see the doctor that day, or it was actually 2 weeks before I went and saw the doctor because it wasn't healing. But anyway, and I didn't feel that way because it was like it came and went. Now, I trusted what the doctor said, but he didn't go deep enough into it either, to say, okay, this is what we need to do or something like that. So this year I changed doctors. Lots more reasons than that. But I switched to doctor, and I told this doctor because this year, and it was, what was it, end of June, early July, something like that. And I told him that this pain had come back, but it was just the heels. Now, I had been driving my car, which is stick shift, and had, standard, right? Not standard, but standard. And and that clutch, the heel of my clutch is what hurt. And then, but it just kind of got worse over time. It went from the heel to both heels, then to both, just the bottoms of the feet, like it had last year. So it made me start thinking, wait a minute now, that's kind of weird. 2 years in a row, 2 years in a row is not enough to say, to make a, diagnose. So I did tell this second doctor about it, and I know I mentioned this in another video. He said that you can get bone spurs, and that was it. But it was my first visit with him, lots going on. I see him again in about a month, and I have an appointment. So anyway, and I don't feel that strong of a need because guess what? The pain went away. The weather changed. You can see all the clouds, and if you've been watching my videos lately, instead you would see clear. Okay, but I'm serious. It changed from, we had a terrible, terrible summer so far. You know, summer's not over yet. But it was, the temps were in let's see, they were, I've said that before, 100 and above, the actual temperature, or those were there. And then there were some days that it was like 99 and 98, but the feels like the real feel, whatever you call it, was higher than 100. You know, 100 or it was 100 plus. So it was horrible. I've seen worse. I've seen worse, but yeah, it was pretty bad. And I am curious now. I can see how this could blend a different way. That it's, you know, basically the whole thing would be the chicken or the egg, which came first. But I do wonder, I mean, the temperature started to change all of a sudden, and my problem went away all of a sudden. You see, it was weird that it was just, it could be coincidental. I had to pause there. The school bus was behind me, not too close, but I didn't know that was a place for, you know, the kids. I didn't even see them. But it was behind me flashing lights, and it was very distracting, and I don't need to be distracted more. Yeah, because from what I read, you know, the things that I read when I Googled the symptoms that were consistent, one of them was inability to concentrate. Now, I was talking about that earlier. Yeah, inability to concentrate. Me. But I did Google, and hold on a second. I think I should go ahead and wrap this up, because I'm going to keep getting distracted. But yeah, I did Google it, and the symptoms, you know, seem like, but the symptoms can also be of other things, and it was something I studied. That's where I was going with it, that I had studied, but it wasn't something I really, it was something I learned, you know, of course, you know, my degrees are in psychology and sociology. The psychology part, yeah, I learned this, but it wasn't something I got deep enough into. I want to try to do that, but I can't, you know, nobody should diagnose themselves, so, you know. But I did ask 2 doctors, what about this foot pain, and there does seem like there could be some link to it, and I want to see if I can find something that says that. If you heard of anything, leave a comment below. But what I did read wasn't this kind of pain. It was more like shoulder, and I could see how that might be associated in a different way because it's due to stress. But for me, that pain was awful, by the way. It got really bad the day before the weather started changing. Seriously, it got so awful, so bad. I think I mentioned that I actually had bought heel, what they call cushions for heel for women, cushions, and put those in my slippers that I bought slippers on purpose for. Yeah, the little fuzzy slippers, soft on the bottom. Yeah, oh my goodness, it's horrible, where I was just flat out on the sofa, really. And the other things, I thought I was going to end this right, stream of consciousness. The other things were that I lost interest in doing certain things, as some of you know. Yeah, there was a cross between losing interest and disgust. Okay, seriously, disgusted. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. You know, we're supposed to continue having not so bad weather, but besides storms. Okay, I think we're going to have rain and thunderstorms for much of the rest of the week. So, which is fine because everything was dying. You know. Anyway, I am going to wrap it up now. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would, and I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.